Welcome back to another installment of the Winey Chef. Today Sharon is making some summer appetizers. We're making watermelon, tomato, basil, and feta cheese salad. It is so delish. There she is. Hello. There she is. Shredded kale and quinoa salad, along with homemade tzatziki and tabbouleh that will be transformed into falafel pita pockets. A really fun appetizer for your summer table. So I will hand it over to Sharon.
Oh, hello. Nice to see everybody again. I hope we're all eating well. And of course, we need to remember that when you're eating, you need to take the mask off. We're going to start with kale. Now, kale is something that we don't really know a whole lot about. It's related to the cabbage family. But we're going to make a kale and a quinoa. Again, quinoa is not something that we are that familiar with, but the nutritional impact is phenomenal between the two of them. So the very first thing I'm going to do with the kale, it's the spinach family, but it's a tougher leaf. So what I'm going to do first in preparing the amount that I'm going to use is I'm going to take the stem off, because as you can see, the stem is quite coarse. So that doesn't fare well in a salad. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take off the stem. And often you'll do that with spinach if the spinach is coarse. So now I've taken the stem off. Feed it to your ducks, your hens, your whatever you have that likes to eat that, or put it in your compost pile. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice the kale very, very thinly, because it is a tougher leaf, but it is also packed with a lot of iron. So this is what I've done. I'm not going to bore you with the details and continue, but what eventually you end up with is a cup and a half of kale. The kale, actually 4 cups. The kale needs to marinate, and usually we marinate things like meat to tenderize it. So that's what we're going to do with the kale. So what we're going to do is when we look, we see that there is 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and there is 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon. You put that in the kale and you toss it. And you let it sit for at least 20 minutes so that the lemon, especially the lemon, will break down the fiber in the kale. In the meantime, we're going to take the quinoa, depends on what part of the country you're from. And so you take 1 cup of quinoa. This is what it looks like if you're interested in buying it. You can get it at the Metro. It's not a foreign ingredient. And it's actually quite granular. It almost looks like a barley, if you can see it in my hands. Okay. So it's 1 part quinoa to 2 parts of water. And you have to cook it for 20 minutes. Which gives you enough time to do your slicing of your kale. When it is finished, you'll know because the quinoa will absorb all of the water, and it ends up looking almost like a rice, but actually much prettier. Okay, so that's your quinoa. The next thing you're going to do, so this was 20 minutes of cooking. This takes about 20 minutes to cut it for the 4 cups very finely. And when you have finished that, you are going to also have chopped 1 small bell pepper, 1.5 cups of grapes, and you can get creative if you want to. I cut them in half lengthwise, but if you want to do it horizontally, that's fine. And if you can't decide which one to do, just cut it diagonally. It helps both people. And the last thing you're going to be adding is 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. So you can tell the nutritional value of this salad is pretty high. So now I've got my marinated kale. I'm now going to put in my quinoa. I'm going to mix that up, and actually it's very pretty as well with the dark green and the kind of light ivory color of the quinoa, if you can see it. So you mix that up very well. You're then going to add your bell pepper. That's medium chop. You don't have to chop it very fine. So that goes in. So now you have a beautiful red happening with your ivory and your dark green. You have your cup and a half of grapes. If you don't like grapes, put in less. And if you like grapes, you could put in more. It all depends on what you like. So we'll mix that up. So now we've got a beautiful ensemble of colors and succulent grapes in there. And then we add our sunflower seeds. And again, if you like sunflower seeds, you put more. If you don't like sunflower seeds, you don't need to put them in. I think it would be fun also to use pumpkin seeds, because I think that would be a very interesting combination. And there it is. Voila. So all of these ingredients could almost be in your pantry. Well, certainly not the quinoa, but quinoa has a lot of various recipes now with it. It's become a very popular grain to use. So it might be a good idea to buy some. You can buy it at the Metro. You can also get it in 3 colors. The white, there's black in it, and I think there's a red. So that makes also a visually very attractive salad. So at this point, we're going to find out why this is such a wonderful salad to eat. Diane.
Back to me. Just a question, was there a dressing with that?
No.
No, eh?
No.
Okay.
No. The dressing would be the oil and the lemon that was marinating the kale.
Oh, okay.
But again, the options are there. If you wanted to put more of a dressing on it, do what you want.
Yeah. It did say when it came to the quinoa, obviously you follow the package directions, but it said it was really important to rinse it with water prior to get rid of something called saponins, which are found on the outer layer and can have a bitter flavor.
Oh.
Yeah. So kale. As Sharon said, a leafy green vegetable part of the cruciferous family with broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and all other vitamin-packed green vegetables. In the last 5 years around, its popularity has soared, along with its reputation as a superfood, loaded with nutrients and antioxidants. There are many health benefits to kale. One of them is it's good for your eyesight. 1 cup of serving of fresh kale contains over 200% of the recommended daily intake of vitamin A, which supports eye health and is vital for your vision. 1 serving of kale also provides 100% of the daily value for vitamin C, which can help lower your risk of cataracts. It's rich in lutein, an antioxidant that reduces your risk of macular degeneration and other age-related eye diseases. We won't stop there. It is good for your heart because it has potassium, fiber, folate, and calcium. And it can help lower the LDL cholesterol or bad cholesterol. That would include, of course, to help lower your blood pressure naturally, because it contains high levels of magnesium, again, calcium and potassium. Last but not least, kale is a good non-dairy source of calcium. So if you're a vegetarian, that's a good way to get your calcium. It maintains the health and function of your heart and other muscles, as well as bones and teeth, to help reduce the risk of osteoporosis. One last vitamin, which is vitamin K, and this is loaded with it. 1 cup of fresh kale gives you a whopping 499 micrograms of vitamin K, which is well over the average recommended daily values. So that is in that lovely green leaf, which now we know what to do with. And then we will take it back to Sharon.
Hi there. Since we are going to be making dips, I just want to tell you quickly about pita chips that I'm going to be putting in the oven. And basically it's pita bread, and it has some olive oil and some lemon juice and some thyme and salt and pepper. And instead of buying, the taco chips or the chips that you would normally buy that are laced with tons of salt, these can be designed to your specific taste buds. So these will go into the oven. It says for 15 minutes, I believe, but I'm going to put it at 10 because I think that's going to be good enough. So I'm going to put that in first and set my timer. Okay, now we're going to make some tzatziki. The thing about tzatziki is it's really all about the very mild and meek cucumber, because it calls for exactly an English cucumber. I used two cucumbers that were about that big. The point that makes it very tricky is that once it is shredded, because it is so loaded with water, you have to drain the water. So what I did, and you have to drain it for at least an hour, unless you're in a hurry. And one top chef told me that what you can do is you just take paper towels, you put the cucumber in the paper towels, and you squeeze as hard as you can. And you see I've already drained probably a cup, and I'm still getting more out of it. But see, there's still water coming out, and I've already probably drained 3/4 of a cup of liquid. It's beautiful. Add mint to the juice that's left, and you have a beautiful green tea. So here's our 4 cups of Greek yogurt. And it has to be at least 2%, because if it's any thinner, the cucumber will dilate the yogurt too much. It'll be too runny. Dilute, not dilate. But dilating is fun.
Dilating, yeah, we're past that.
That was a long time ago. Okay, so I'm going to add the cucumber. So this is approximately 2 small cucumbers, or one of the larger ones. I'm going to add that. And this is one of the dishes that gets better as it gets older, as some of us are. And it needs to marry. It's good if it sits, if all of the ingredients sit together for at least an hour in your fridge. And it's even better if it is overnight. But that's up to you, okay? The other thing that's then going in will be the garlic. And I have the minced garlic here. And again, if you like garlic, you put in more. It says 3 to 4. I put in 4 because I like garlic. And so does everyone around me, so that's safe. So here I have the garlic. I have the lemon. And I have the red wine vinegar. So that's going in. Okay, and you have to be careful when you're dealing with dairy because it's easy for dairy to get upset and curdle. So you have to slowly introduce it. It tends to be a little bit shy. So you have to mix it really well and slowly so you don't get a curdling going on. All right, so it's almost starting to look like tzatziki. And the next thing I'm putting in, again, depends on your taste. I put in 4 tablespoons of dill because I like dill. If you don't have a preference for dill, put 3. You like it a lot, put 5. Totally up to you. So here goes the dill. Okay. And the last thing that's going in, and this is where you have to be very careful, is what's going in now is the 3 tablespoons of olive oil, which I have right here. So I'm going to really respect what I have already and really do it slowly so nothing clumps and everything is well distributed. And olive oil cannot be replaced with vegetable oil. If it says olive oil, it's because olive oil is giving the very rich taste that olives have. So it's not something that should be substituted with any other type of oil. And that's why we need those Pita chips, because we're going to use this for 2 reasons. To use as a dip, but also to use in the falafel burger. Et voila! Easy peasy. The thing about all of these recipes, it's not that they're difficult, it's just that there's a lot of chopping involved. So it's fun to do it with a friend. And back to Diane. There it is.
I love tzatziki. One of my favorite dips. It goes really well with vegetables, but it also has health benefits, and that one of them is because of the Greek yogurt. Why use Greek yogurt and not sour cream? You'll see store-bought mixes of tzatziki using sour cream, but I really prefer Greek yogurt when making tzatziki, because it contains almost twice the amount of protein found in any other standard protein, and it has significantly less sugar. Protein is absolutely essential if you're trying to gain muscle mass. If in 1 6-ounce serving of Greek yogurt, you will be receiving anywhere from 15 to 20 grams of protein. That's the equivalent of 2 to 3 ounces of lean meat. I put it on my cereal in the morning. It's a great addition to your breakfast, yes, because of the protein value. Also calcium, as we well know, beneficial for your bones and teeth, and the probiotics that are in Greek yogurt that can actually help keep your gums healthy and promotes digestive health and the well-being of your natural flora. Along with that tzatziki, we can't forget the garlic, because that's what tzatziki is all about, the garlic. And it says, chop it for your health. Why? Chopping, slicing, or smashing garlic triggers an enzyme reaction that increases its healthful compounds. Heat prevents this reaction, so let garlic sit on the cutting board for at least 10 minutes before cooking. Well, who knew? The perceived benefit of garlic are thought to be due to the active ingredient allicin, which has antimicrobial and antifungal properties. It's been studied for their ability to inhibit cancerous cells and block tumors. Garlic may also lower blood pressure, mainly through its ability to widen blood vessels. It's been used throughout centuries, and it's a very, very healthy herb. No.
Garlic?
Yeah.
That's a
What
good
is
question.
it?
What are
It's
you?
part of the onion family, so no, I guess it's not an herb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so aside for maybe giving you garlic breath, you could eat some parsley after. There are the benefits of Greek yogurt. And so we will take it back to Sharon as she's taking the pita out of the oven.
Okay. Hi again. All right. Now what we're going to do, so we have our lovely tzatziki, we have our kale and quinoa, and now we come to the tabbouleh, or how did you pronounce it?
Tabbouleh.
Tabbouleh. Tomato. Okay, now what I don't have right now is a bowl. Well, that's kind of silly. I found the bowl. It wasn't far away. I needed my GPS, but suddenly I went to scratch my head and there was the bowl. So here's our bowl. All right. So the no, we don't have. Yes, we do. Okay. This is bulgur. This is what it looks like. It's available in any of the stores locally. It's also a grain, but it also has to be cooked. So, but this is not cooked in a pot. What you do is you put the 1 cup of bulgur and you put a cup and a half of boiling water and you let it sit until the grain absorbs the water. Kind of like the whole concept as quinoa, but with quinoa you actually have to cook it. With the bulgur you just have to soak it. All right, so here we go with tabbouleh. And who knew that tabbouleh had so many ingredients? Not I. Anyways, this is how we're going to do it. So we put the tabbouleh in the bowl. Okay. And then it takes about an hour for the grain to absorb the water, which is fine because you could be doing other things like chopping and measuring the other ingredients. The other ingredients are your cup of mint. And mint is just a glorious taste. I love mint, so I don't mind putting in a little bit more. Again, adjusted to your personal taste. So there is a cup of mint, fresh from my garden, I might add. Well, my neighbor's garden. And he doesn't know about it, but that's okay. And then I put in a cup of parsley. She's laughing at me. That's why I'm starting to lose my concentration. I put in my parsley that is not from anybody's garden. So that's a good thing. See, it's starting to look like the tabbouleh that you would buy in the store. So you just sort of toss that. And the next thing you're going to put in, again, if you like onions, put in a lot. If you don't, decrease the amount of onions. It should be about a cup of onion. To me, that's a little bit, I think it's a cup. Yeah, a cup. That's a little much for me, but I mean, if you're having garlic, onion, you might as well just have a party and have it all. So there you are with the the scallion actually. So we've got the bulgur, we've got the parsley, we've got the mint, we've got the onion. Now, when that is well tossed, then we're going to add the crowning glories, which are cucumber, about a cup of cucumber. So that freshens up the grain. And it's coarsely cut. It's not teeny tiny. Okay? And 2 cups of tomatoes, the little cherry tomatoes, so that it looks like this. It's very pretty. And the smaller the tomato is, the more firm it is, and the more it'll keep its shape and not make the rest of the ingredients mushy. So you put them in. And then you salt and pepper to taste. As with the other recipes, I didn't mention the salt and pepper. I assume that is a given. Salt and pepper. And if you are on a sodium restricted diet, then obviously you don't put any salt at all. Or, I don't know, are there salt substitutes?
There are.
Okay.
Mrs. Dash and other things.
Okay. So, that is it. And actually, if you were planning to serve this, again, it's better if it's prepared in the morning so that the ingredients can really blend, so that the flavors can really marry. And there it is. It's that simple. Et voila.
Nice. So colorful.
Yes, it is.
So colorful. And they say the more color you eat, the better, eh?
Oh, good.
Yeah. Beta carotene. So bulgur. If you're not familiar with the grain, it has a lot of health benefits because of its high fiber content. High fiber grains help you with digestion, gut health, weight management. High fiber, low fat diets help reduce the risk of cancer and prevent coronary heart disease. Now, we had mint in there also. Mint is a particularly good source of vitamin A that is critical for eye health and night vision. Again, we had that mentioned in one of the other recipes. Also a potent source of antioxidants, especially compared to other herbs and spices. And we also know that mint is also known to aid in digestion, as in mint tea. And so, yeah, those are some of the health benefits of the tabbouleh. I have omitted the parsley, but I'm sure parsley has its own benefits. Mm-hmm. Yes, there were so many ingredients in all these recipes. And yes, but anyway, all for your good health. And after that, we will be continuing on. Thank you, my dear. So pretty. Okay.
A very popular dish is falafel, pita, which you can get at Lebanese stores or restaurants. But it's very easy peasy. I was going to say to make. No, I didn't say that. I said to buy. So what you buy, if you can see it, is the mix. It has everything in it, and the only thing you have to add is water. Again, because it is a grain, you have to let it sit for about an hour. When it sits, it ends up with a consistency like that. Okay? Now, what I like to do with it is I heat up my oil. I don't put a lot. A lot of recipes call for it to be deep fried. You don't have to do that. You take a little bit of, almost like a small meatball, and you roll it, or you pack it in so that it doesn't have air or cracks, like that. Okay, so it's like this. And then you squash it down so it becomes a patty. And the reason I'm doing it this size is because eventually what I want to do, I'll just put these ones in. It takes about 4 minutes on each side. All you want to do is crisp it up. So I'm just going to put in 4 because I already have some done. Now, what I ultimately want to do though is I want to take the small pita. I want to take scissors. Let's pretend I have scissors. And you open it up and you have a little envelope. Hello. How are you? You take, now not these ones because these are too big. That's why I'm saying these are better because they're smaller. So you will ultimately be putting, let's say this is those ones, about that size. This will go into the little pita. So at this point, what you do is you put in your tzatziki, you put in your tabbouleh, you can put in fresh sliced tomato, and then on the top, you'll have to hand me the jar of the, yeah. So on the top are these pickled turnips, which again is very Middle Eastern, and you put that on the top. The red colorant in here is beet juice. So again, it's a nutritious thing. At the end, now follow me, going slowly over. Hi. This is what it's going to look like. Easy peasy. If you don't want to do all of that, although I find that very impressive, is you can just have the big patties. You can put them in a bigger pita and eat it that way. Same stuff, but a bigger piece. But if you're having it as canapés or aperitifs, you want it to be a little bit more dainty. And that is what you do with falafel. Or if you don't want to do any stuffing at all, you can just take it and dip it into these different sauces so that you don't have to use any gluten at all if you're gluten allergic to gluten. So, having said that, it's back to you. Oh, don't eat with your mouth full.
So falafel, if you wanted to know the nutritional benefits and you wanted to go and make it on your own, just to let you know, it's made of chickpeas or garbanzo beans as they are called. They're a type of legume in the same family as kidney, beans, and peanuts. They have a buttery, nutty flavor and a creamy texture. Chickpeas and other legumes have calcium, magnesium, fiber, and other nutrients for strong bones. But be sure to soak them if you're making them from regular chickpeas rather than using the premix. Be sure to soak them first to get rid of something called phytates, which can get in the way of your body absorbing the calcium in the chickpeas. Oh, well, who knew about that? They help with digestion because they're so full of dietary fiber. And that's what is good about falafel. It's also vegetarian. Okay, so you don't have to eat meat, or if you don't eat meat, this could probably be replaced by a little lamb little mini burger. That would be so good. No lamb and tzatziki. No, all right. I'm getting looks now. Okay, stop. All right. If you do go to a traditional Lebanese place, they're often served with a sauce called tahini. Very Middle Eastern. It's a super creamy, rich paste made with finely grinded roasted sesame seeds. So that's what you would get if you went to a Lebanese restaurant. And they would serve you exactly like that in a pita. So last but not least, we're continuing on with a watermelon and tomato salad with basil and feta cheese. It is to die for. It is a recipe from my very good friend Alana, and it is very, very refreshing. A really, really nice summer salad. And it's very, very easy. It's a pint of cherry tomatoes, 2 cups of seeded watermelon, 6 large basil leaves, a half a cup of crumbled feta cheese, a little bit of lemon zest, extra virgin olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. One note about balsamic vinegar though, they're very differing qualities. So the better or the more you pay, the better the balsamic vinegar will be. It won't be as, how can I say, tart. Yes, tart is the good word. This is the lovely salad. I haven't mixed it, but you can see all the beautiful colors with the basil and the red onions. To finish up, this is all pretty healthy. This is what we try to do at Ecole when we do these cooking Zooms, is to present healthy stuff. It was quite a challenge. Sharon and I, we got a little bit overwhelmed with the choice of dips and appetizers out there, but a lot of them you can just find on the internet. We just wanted to share some of these with you. Watermelon, it is full of antioxidants, vitamin C, and lycopene. It has a very high water content, so it will help you rehydrate and potentially reduce the risk of suffering heat stroke in the summer. I think it's probably about 90% water, if I'm not mistaken. And it also contains electrolytes, which you lose when you do perspire in the summer heat. So it is a great summertime snack or to put in your salads. It's also rich in potassium, which regulates nerve function. Too little potassium can cause numbness and tingling in your legs. If you suffer from nighttime leg cramps, you might have a potassium deficiency. And then we can't forget the tomatoes. Lycopene. Tomatoes are full of lycopene, I'm sorry. They've been proven to reduce cholesterol levels and the occurrence of cardiovascular disease. There is more lycopene in watermelon though than tomatoes. So that is a salad which is very, very nutritious for you. More health benefits of tomatoes. They're really good for your heart. They've been shown to reduce certain cancers. They're good for your skin because of the vitamin A. They're good for your bones because of calcium and vitamin K. And they're good for your eye health. So I hope that you will enjoy some of these recipes that we've presented today. And we'll wrap this up. I would really like to thank Sharon, the Winey chef, for...
That's me.
Yes, that's her. For her amazing contribution over the winter and into the spring to help everyone get by in this confinement. And so she's done a lot of work, a lot of hard work as a volunteer for Ecole, and I just want to thank her. I want to thank Rosa behind the camera, who we couldn't do without either, and Eric, our editor. And we want to wish you a happy, safe summer.
with friends and family. And for those that are not here, bless them too.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.